Three, two, one. Durak Tucker, lovely for you to be on the podcast, mate. I'm honoured.
I'm happy to be here, mate.
Legend. We tried to tee this up so many times, but now that I've got some time off, perfect to get you on. Perfect time to sort it out.
Yeah, always been busy, mate.
The bit of your day is always free.
Always free.
So just for everyone who doesn't know who you are, just give us a little 30-second elevator pitch.
Yep. So Durak Tucker, I play for East Freo in the WAFL, from Bunbury. So Bunbury, but the suburb Australind. Been down there. Parents are down there since I was 4, so 22 now.
Do you go down much?
What's that?
Do you go back down there?
Yeah, I'll usually go down. I'll try to go down as much as I can. More, my parents come up to watch me play on Saturdays.
Right.
And then they usually go shout me a feed after, which is always handy.
Lovely.
And then, but yeah, lived down there most of my life. Went to Guildford Grammar boarding school for a bit, for 2 years. Graduated from there, and then I moved. Then I lived in Perth for another year, just doing uni.
I know.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So how's I guess get on to the pre-season of this year?
Yeah.
2022 pre-season. How's that been going for you? Been tracking well?
Yeah. So this is my 3rd pre-season with East Freo, and
Lovely.
Feeling really good. I've been loving it.
Because the last 2 pre-seasons, because the first one you came in, you had the hammy.
Yep.
You were going through that rehab process. And then the pre-season after that, you did your ankle.
Yep.
Yeah. And then this season, the 3rd one, I think you've gone through pretty much unscathed. Is that?
Yeah.
Huh?
So my first pre-season, it was, my hammy coming back from that. And that was a long time, probably near like a 6-month injury. Then I finally got back from that.
Bring that mic just a bit closer. Lean back. You pull it
I
up.
finally got back from that. And then first couple of weeks of training, full training, like playing a handball game, I landed on my ankle bad. Like,
you have surgery? Did you have to have surgery?
I had to get surgery. So it wasn't even that bad. I thought it wasn't too bad. And when I landed, it definitely hurt. And then scans came back and it was pretty stuffed. Yeah, busted. And then it was pretty bad. And then it was pretty lucky though, because I was weighing up to have surgery or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then once COVID started happening,
that's
2020,
right.
COVID started happening and I was weighing up to have surgery or not. And then I decided to pull the pin and have surgery. And then while they were wheeling me into the surgery room, they said that was the last person.
Oh, you were the last one?
Last one to have it that day.
Jeez,
I was bloody lucky. So then after that, it was, so then I was at home for 6 weeks in a moon boot. It was lockdown anyway. Yeah. So I was pretty happy at home.
Dude, I was just about to ask, like you would have been the last one to have that as the surgery.
The last person to have it. They were wheeling me in and saying that. I had no idea. But looking back at it now, I was pretty bloody lucky. Yeah.
Because then you could have the whole time to rehab and come back.
And stay home. Mum could look after me. Free living, free rent.
Oh, that's the best. That's what I did. I wouldn't move back. Well, I didn't move back. I kind of just went back to Adelaide and lived out the back of the granny flat and at mum and dad's place. And
Mum, we have a double-story house back at home. She just put the bed down there and then got one of those nursing, like in hospital, one of those tables that come across the bed.
Yeah.
So I had that and I'm into my gaming a lot. So I had big computer set up and computer like all set up on my table and then wake up in the morning and little mum, the barista, will make me a nice little coffee and meals. I was actually pretty happy.
You're stoked at that. That's awesome. And then at the last game of last season, you broke your hand.
Yeah.
Was it the last game?
I forgot about that. Yeah. Last year, the last game. So I got dropped to Resi, so it's very Bill's fault. I got dropped to Resi's and I was playing Resi's and I wasn't playing too bad. And Canoe actually. It was Canoe.
Yeah,
he missed me. He missed the kick and I had to reach over to go grab it and I slipped and landed on my hand.
Oh, was you going back?
No, it was on the ground. And I went to go grab it with my left hand and I landed on it and broke my hand. Like I just heard this huge crunch. So I thought it was my finger first, but when I was on the bench, all I could think about, because it was the last game of the season, I wasn't able to play golf for like 8 weeks. So I was spewing. I couldn't play golf for 8 weeks. That's the only thing that was kind of going through my head then.
God, that's hilarious. Couldn't play golf for 8 weeks. But you came back pretty quick, or the recovery was pretty quick because it was a couple, maybe 4-6 weeks later, you're like, I'm bench pressing and doing all this.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Well, yeah. So probably like we had a trip down south few of us footy boys at the end of the year, and I had a couple of beers and all that, and then it started. I don't know. It started to feel a bit better, but the cast kept just falling to pieces and all that.
Oh, so really? Then I put it on properly or something.
Well, I don't know. It just just made it soft, and then, I got home after that trip, and it was doing nothing. I could feel my hand moving around. It was doing nothing, so I just decided then to cut the cast off, and then I had to go to the hospital the next day for like just a checkup, and they're like, "Why don't you have a cast? And why don't you have a cast?" And I was like, relax. It's not that, it doesn't feel that bad. And, but yeah, and then we x-rayed it and they said it was like still a little bit broken, but it was all right.
That's all right.
Then the next week I messaged you saying I'm bench pressing.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because I started playing a little bit of golf.
Nice. Do you know who Ruby Slasher is?
No.
She's East Freo, and then she's playing with Collingwood in the AFLW, and she broke her wrist. Broke her wrist or broke her hand? I can't remember which one it was. Maybe a second, or I can't remember what season it was. But she was going back, and then she took a mark, and then as she was like backpedaling off the mark, she tripped over, and then she put a hand at the back. Yeah, and that's how she broke her hand. It's pretty embarrassing.
It was my second time I've broken something like a natural break. I've done my collarbone when I was young, playing racing on motorbikes, and then but this is the first break, and it hurts a bit, doesn't it?
I've done my AC joint. That's probably the closest.
That's pretty bad.
I did it bad, but this has been, I was like 18. I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
I tried to get back within like the week. And then I went to physio like 2 weeks after that. And they're like, oh, do you have scans? Well, I did have scans, but I didn't bring them to the physio appointment. And she's just like, oh, you're like an idiot.
Yeah,
I'm like, no, I am. And she's like doing this sort of stuff. And then like you can still feel like the cut, like the scar tissue.
Well, on my hand here, it's got a little bit of a bump.
Oh, yeah.
And you can run it along and you can feel it.
That's
still a little bit broken.
That's a bit of the scar tissue or
in the X-ray. Yeah, in the X-ray, it kind of looked like a little bit broken, but all good.
As long as you can move it around.
Yeah, it's fine now.
What do you do? The defender, so you just maybe you make a fist and punch.
I don't really punch with my left hand because it hurts. Like punching the ball with my left hand, I'm not used to it. So when I punch with the ball with the left hand, like it kind of jars it a bit.
What about if you get stuck? What about as a defender if you get stuck on the wrong side? Like if someone's
well then you probably have to. But
or do you reach across?
No. If there's a time and place for a left hand, but I did it. I remember one time. So I was doing underager for State U18s. And I had Glenn Jakovic as our back coach.
Oh Jesus, that would have been scary,
mate. He was the scariest bloke, but it was a good bloke too. But he was such old fashioned. And it was. I remember we split up in the lines. We were the backs, and like this training, it was wet, cold. It was pissing down the rain, and he's got us running off the sideline and punching balls. And I was like, I'm gonna hit it with my left hand. Yeah. I hit it with my left hand, and I broke my finger. And we're flying out that Saturday night to play Marvel against Vic Country.
Yeah.
So as soon as I hit it, I was like, I've broken my finger.
Oh, you definitely knew that.
I just kept it quiet because I wanted to play that weekend because we're going to Melbourne, a free trip to Melbourne. So it was so, I remember that. That game, it was a sore finger, but.
What'd you do? Just strap it up?
No, I didn't strap
it up. You did nothing?
No, I felt fine, but it's a bit busted now.
Which one was it?
Which one? I think this one here.
Oh, yeah. The pinkies always get it worse. Did you have to get a scan or anything on it? Or just
because when I went back to play for Guildford, I kind of like hit it again in the mark, and it was so sore. And then I was like, we'll see if I can go get X-rays after the game. At halftime went and got X-rays. And they're like, it's broken, but there's not much you can do about it.
But at halftime?
Yeah, halftime.
An X-ray at halftime?
Yeah. Just went down to Midland. We were playing at home.
Oh, okay.
So I went and got an X-ray, and then they're like, look, it's broken, but like all the bone, like it's already previously been broken. I was like, I know that. So they couldn't do anything, so I just went back and played.
So at the halftime break, you had enough time to go get scanned?
So halftime break, quickly went, and then it down at Midland there, and luckily they weren't busy. So I got X-ray, and then I was like, I kind of feel like keep playing because we're versing Hale, and then went back and just played the last quarter.
What? So you were? So what'd you say to the coach? Coach, I'm just going to go to scan. I'll be back.
Well, they're like, quickly go get an X-ray, and I was like, can you do that? And they're like, yeah. So I went and did it, and then it was fine.
That's unreal. I never heard of that. That's a wild story.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I played last quarter. It was sore bad.
So you would have been, 18 then?
17.
Playing for Guildford.
Playing Guildford.
So
12.
That's a private school?
Yeah.
No, so does that take precedence over Colts?
Yeah, WAFL, yeah. So PSA school, and that's what PSA schools do. They take, I don't know. I really love playing Guildford footy. Like, it was so fun playing with all my mates. But I really enjoy playing WAFL Colts too. And I think I would rather play WAFL Colts.
You've had time again?
Yeah.
If you had the opportunity.
You weren't allowed to. So.
Or if there was, the opportunity was there, you would have.
Yeah.
Was it Peel? Is that who
Peel Thunder. Yep. So Australians aligned with Peel Thunder. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And when you're playing at Guildford, which is
treks away. So sometimes I would I was allowed to go play for go train at Swan Districts.
Oh.
I've got a funny story. It was my first training with Swan Districts, and we were training with the league and Resies, and I was Colts, and I always had to train with footy socks on. Back then, always had to, and I was looking around
because your feet would get blistered or whatever.
It was just something I did, and at training, and I was trying to find footy socks. I couldn't find any, and all I had was my Peel Thunder socks.
Oh no!
And my mates wouldn't give me socks to wear, and I was just like, and that back then I always had to train with footy socks on, so I had to go to Swan Districts training with Peel Thunder socks on, and it was my first training, and I copped it. I copped it from everyone. Looking back then, I was an idiot. I don't know why I just did wear socks.
What do they make? They make you do what, push-ups, or they just gave you a hard time?
Just gave me a hard time. And I was only I was 16 then. But other than that, I was so when I wanted to go play for Peel, I had to catch a train from Guildford after school all the way down to Mandurah.
Fuck.
And then catch the train after training, so finish up around 7:30, then catch it back and sometimes don't get back to school at 10. And if you ever caught the train from Mandurah to Perth, it's pretty scary. There's a few dodgy blokes, and then getting on the Midland line back to school, and you'd see some characters.
So was that because you were boarded, obviously?
Yeah.
What's the curfew? Did they give you like a?
Yeah, they just
let you come in late.
Yeah, they let me come in late. So
that's lucky.
Think about it now, a lot of travel it was.
Damn. And you were 17. How do they go living out of home and
easy?
Yeah. What did you feel like food?
So they just cooked food. Yeah. It was
that's pretty chill.
Bloody nice. Looking back now, it was so good, But repetitive, The
same crap.
Same stuff. Same
was
eggs
it
on toast.
Eggs,
not really healthy. But breakfast was good. Lunch and all that, recess, whatever. You just have whatever's there, otherwise you're gonna starve. We started eating cereal and then at our first lunch, and then they took away the cereal at lunch because everyone would just be eating cereal because everyone would be so hungry, and I'm a big eater. So
especially when you're so young, because you obviously were there as part of the program, sports program, right? Yeah. You think that they would teach you about nutrition and provide proper healthy food?
Yeah, you'd think so.
To support athletic goals.
I did know a fair bit about that because I did. There's a Southwest Development Squad down south in Bunbury, which was so good. They helped. There was a few classes on that, but even with state footy and that, they had we did nutrition talks.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So let's get started. And how did you come up? Was footy always a sport for you? Did you play any other ones? Like you said dirt biking and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, when I was young, I literally did everything. But I played footy since I could start walking. And played a bit of basketball, but I was a bit of a spud. Wasn't too bad, but and then a lot of motorbike racing. Yeah, so I really enjoyed doing that. And then
was that just something that was around?
Just my brother. He loved it, but we were country boys. So I grew up in Newdigate, which is 45 minutes from Lake Grace, real country town. Not many people live there, but we always rode around on motorbikes and stuff. So then when I got a bit older, my brother got into it, and then I started getting into it. But not until probably when I was 14, I started racing and all that.
Oh, so you competed in?
Yeah, so I did motocross and endurocross.
Endurocross?
So not endurocross, enduro, which is you go race out in the bush. They set up a track and you just ride around through the bush and all that. It's pretty fun, and jump logs and all that.
Oh, cool.
And
it was like laps, or was it?
There was a few. They did a lot of races. I can't really remember it at the moment, but they're pretty much laps. But and I also played a bit of rugby when I was younger. So Saturday footy and then Sunday rugby.
Oh, of course, always the case. Do you still have bikes now and go out for fun? Or
my brother does, but I kind of had to stop because I couldn't get injured and
you fall on
But I loved it. You think about it now, like I'd love to do it again because it was so fun, but expensive. Hey,
the bikes, tuning that up and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
it's wild. So you got picked up in the Southwest?
Yeah. So
was that? How old were you then? 16.
14.
14.
So development squad, So it's like the league down there, and then they like pick like 4 or 5 of their best players from each team, and they make it like a development squad, and you just like play against like WAFL 14s teams, 15s teams, and then it goes to 16s, and then at 16s you go play for your WAFL club.
Yep, that's when you went to Peel.
Yeah, that's when I started playing for Peel, and Colts,
and then the state. What do they call it? State's Colts or the state under 18s?
There's
call that.
So there's state 15 schoolboys.
Yeah.
So that's like, just like, I don't even know why they call it schoolboys, but it's basically state 15s.
Yeah.
And then state 16s is like kind of when it starts to take off a bit. State 16. So that's when more like like more WAFL involved and all that, and they pay for everything. And then I think they have a state 17s too now, and then state 18s.
All right. Because I haven't asked this question to anyone before. When you're in that state 16s group, do the AFL clubs, do they speak to you much at all, or is it more you just go and play and they watch from a distance?
Yeah, they watch. Yeah. I don't think you talk to them. Yeah,
they talk to you much.
I'm trying to remember, but I don't think I talk.
That's more obviously when you in this age, a draft year.
Yeah. So they AFL recruiters, they watch it from a young age. So they always, when that state 16's on is definitely, they definitely go watch those games.
So what about, that 18s or that state 18 season, that Colts level be a draft year. You did your ACL that year. When was it in that year?
So I played when I was 17, I played as an underager for state 18s. Oh. So that's when that was probably my best year of footy. When I was as an underager playing 18s, and then when it was my draft year, I was involved with the 18s at the start of the year. Like we did like a camp and all that at the start, but then I played one Colts game, and then I did my ACL that Tuesday training, so I missed out on my whole draft year.
Was that a what March, or what month was that?
Maybe. Maybe March. Yeah.
You played one game, maybe early March.
Or
late March, early April, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, it was that Tuesday training, and I still remember it, eh?
What happened?
So, Dottie was actually my Colts coach.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at Peel. So, he was my Colts coach, and I remember the first time I actually met him, eh? I went up because we were country boys, so we hardly would go up. Pre-season would kind of not go up in pre-season. And then I remember seeing him, he's still exactly the same, mate. Doesn't give you much. But so played round 1, played that game. We won. It was actually a really good game. And then that Tuesday training, what did I do? So we're just doing this like kind of game drill, moving it from the back line out. And the bloke who kicked it to me, kicked it over my head, and I was running for the ball. And then I got pushed. Someone came and pushed me on the side, and I kind of like stepped, and then kind of like just rolled my knee. Basically, just landed on it. Just running while running, and as soon as I put my foot down, like I just heard it was just like a crunchy noise, and then I kind of like fell to the ground. And I was like, "Fuck!" And then I stood up, and it was just like, fell back down. I was like, "What is going on?" So it wasn't really painful, and it wasn't like the normal kind of way you do your ACL. It was kind of like a running motion, and it kind of just went in, getting pushed from the side. So, I was spewing about that. And then, but I remember I did it, stood up, and I was like, and then fell back down. I was like, what the hell is going on? It was sore. And I was like, it actually wasn't really that sore. It just didn't feel right. And then I got up, and Colts back then, like, injuries weren't, I don't know, as common. And I was just like jogging, and I was like, it's a bit sore. And they're like, I'll go see the physio. So I went and saw the physio and did tests and all that. And they're like, yeah, look, it's pretty fine, eh? Like, I don't see anything wrong with it. I was like, oh, sweet. So can I go back out and train? She's like, oh, we'll just do some tests. Like she did like all the tests on the bed, whatever. And then she got me out the front there and I was jogging and doing side steps.
Really?
Yeah,
that was all good.
It was fine. And I was doing side steps and sprinting, stopping, and side stepping. And I was like, yeah, it's a bit sore, but like it's okay. She's like, look, we just don't train. And I was like, yeah, I better not train. And then the next day, yeah, it blew up like a balloon. And went and saw like another physio and they did like some more tests on it. And they're like, yeah, not too sure. And then mum's like, nah, we'll go get a scan. So we went and got a scan and then, yeah, that's when it came back.
That's wild. I'm not sure if you knew this, but what happens in that initial phase when you do tear your ACL, your hamstring takes, because it almost acts as like acts as a similar kind of role as your tendon does, like it stops the anterior draw of the knee. It tightens up. Yeah. So that's why the test might have been all right.
Yeah.
And then you felt all right. You could actually do those movements because your hamstring was tightening up and protecting the knee.
Yeah.
But then obviously the next day, once it all just kind of relaxes.
Yeah. That's when it was pretty bloody sore after that. Yeah. And then blew up. And then, but yeah, when I was at Sydney, there was one of our development coaches, Lloyd Paris. He actually did his knee during a game. I think it was second quarter or something. And then they were like, he came off and then did stuff. And then he actually played the rest of the game. Yeah. And then they got scanned.
It's not uncommon. It happens a few times. I know one of the guys when I was working with Adelaide, he was like a young kid. He did his knee the second quarter or whatever and played the rest of the game on it. Yeah. And then once they had scans, it was like, see you later.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah, I still remember that. So yeah, had a scan and then that I got the text message the next day. I was spewing. Fuck. Yeah.
You've been gutted because you're obviously
trying to get drafted. It was my draft year. Played really good first game and then I just remember it and bawling, tears out the whole day and I was spewing about it.
So how does it go from there? Do you when did you have your surgery? You just try to get yourself right rehab wise and I guess the combine would have been in almost 8 months.
Yeah, so I went up to Perth. So I don't know if I was living in Perth now. I don't think I was then. I went and saw the state team doctor. We looked at scans and all that. Okay, it was only just the ACL, no other.
Oh, that's
nothing
good.
else.
That's good.
So I was pretty lucky with that. So did that and then just try to get a surgeon straight away as soon as I could. And then I was lucky enough. I think like probably the next week. So I got surgery. So then after that, I'm trying to remember. I remember I went home, had surgery, it was fine, went home, and then I was just in bed for quite a while. And it was pretty hard because like after I'd never had an injury before that.
Oh wow, really?
So before that, never had injuries or anything. So to do your knee as your first injury, like
it's pretty full on.
Yeah, it didn't hit me yet. And I couldn't believe it. I had surgery and then it's not until when I was just like in bed all the time and it was bloody sore.
Not allowed to do anything.
Not allowed to do anything, just laying in bed. And then, you see all your mates training, playing. So it was pretty tough as your first injury. And then I was struggling a bit, but then my dad got me we bought a little puppy.
Yeah.
A little Betsy. Mini pincher she was. So we got her. I had my other dog, Zuki, and Jack Russell. So it was pretty good at home. It was a bit refreshing in a way as well because doing footy so much and then, I don't know, doing footy and then to nothing. It was a bit refreshing as well. But then after that, just rehab, hey. I'm trying to remember.
Do you remember if it was a hamstring graft?
Hamstring graft, yeah. Same on the same knee. Yeah.
I had I just remember just then you talking about how you did your knee when I was working with the hockey girls at Waste. One of the girls, she was running in a straight line and a ball was coming from overhead. So she was running almost like back with the flight with it. And she was judging where the ball was going to land. So she was running a straight line and she went to change pace, like almost like a little mini deceleration. And then as she went to change the pace, like brake on that front knee, her knee just gave way, did a knee. But then like she took an extra couple of steps like to change pace and then like she just stopped and went on a knee. But like everyone was freaking out because she did an ACL going running in a straight line.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. I just got pushed on the side while running and then it just kind of just landed on my right knee and just gave way. So it was pretty hectic.
So what happened after that? So in terms of were the AFL clubs talking to you prior to doing your knee, and what happened after?
So we played a scratchy, like a state scratchy. I don't know. Yeah, it was like kind of like a mini combine kind of. It was, but we just played a footy game.
Yep.
And then after the footy game, you they give you like a I don't know, a little letter saying with all the footy clubs that want to interview you after you play that game.
Oh shit!
So like you played the scratchy, and then you go upstairs to go talk to AFL clubs. But and then then you don't really hear back from them. Like you don't hear anything about it until probably after the 18s carnival, and then obviously clubs start kind of emailing you, calling you to have interviews and that. But yeah, around that was and then they started getting emails and interviews and stuff.
Who spoke to you? What clubs? Remember? All of them.
I spoke to, I think it was 14 or 15 clubs.
So they just do it like a general type of thing.
So I was expecting no one, and I was shitting myself for so long because I heard some boys again like interviews, and I was just like, and I was shitting myself, but I also kind of understood it as well because I only played one game of that year. Just luckily I played all last year. But it was pretty hard. Yeah, it was pretty hard because I wasn't getting emails and all that. No clubs were talking to me for a while, not for a while, and I was just like, I didn't know where I was, where I was standing, and then I kind of thinking about it. It was pretty tough.
With your rehab, was it just straightforward rehab? Like, well, it's pretty smooth sailing all the way up until. So let's go from when you did your knee to up to where the combine and that kind of.
Yeah.
Was it?
So with rehab, I didn't really have like a full-time kind of physio. Like for a while I was like lost, and I was like, what do I actually do? Like I didn't really have a physio, and then I started seeing a bloke in Bunbury who was like lined up with that development squad. So I started seeing him, started getting exercises, and then I was actually progressing really well. And then I'm trying to remember when I started running. Maybe I won't have a clue. I can't remember back then. It was quite a while ago, but
3 years ago.
Yeah, it started, but
4 years ago.
I was all smooth sailing. Hey, like I had no dramas. I remember my first run because I didn't have a running program. I had nothing. Like this was Colts. Like seriously, had no.
What was that? What year was that?
2018. So I had no running program. Barely had any like rehab stuff. So I was like a bit lost in that. And I remember I went and did my first run. I was like, had no idea what to do. So I just did a 2K jog. It was a slow 2K jog.
Classic.
And I was blowing up. Hey, and then my knee was so sore the next day. I was like, holy shit.
Because you probably weren't doing like any upper body, like cross training or anything.
Yeah, mate. No off legs. I was probably doing, weights, but I hated riding. They told me to ride the bike, but I hated riding the bike, And absolutely hate it, so I never did. so I just try to do other stuff, more leg weights.
Yeah, right.
But it was more building up strength.
So was it the national combine you went to, or was it the WA? So the national combine. Well, obviously you couldn't do much. What were you allowed to do there?
Yeah, so
you just sit through the meetings.
Yeah, I was actually very fortunate to get invited there. So when I got invited, I was so happy. But when I got there, I hardly did anything. You literally like, if you can't, they just put you in this like, it was at Marvel Stadium, and it's just like this huge big room. They got ping pong and all that. And but you're kind of just sitting around waiting to do stuff. So, and for me, I couldn't do any like running or anything. So I couldn't do the 2K, the yo-yo. So I was just sitting around watching. Then you obviously have your interviews, but I think you do it in one day. And then I did more kind of like the mental kind of games they do, more like reaction time. You start pressing buzzers. What else? It was a lot of hand kind of stuff.
Like coordination sort of work.
Yeah, coordination.
With the lights. And
the lights, and then reaction time. You had to like go tap this button as fast as you can.
Interesting.
But I remember one daunting thing was, it's pretty strange. So I was as the medium defenders, and we're in a group, and that you go to this like they just have this big room. They have this one massage table just sitting in the middle.
Yeah.
And then they have every club's doctors and physios, every club around this massage table. And then they call your name and you go there and you sit on the table and then you just wait. They call your name, you just sit there and you wait until so if clubs are interested in you, they'll come and like touch you, poke you and like see what you've done, like if there's anything wrong with you. And with me, with my knee, so I went up, sat down. And it's so weird. It was so strange. I was sitting there and just a swarm of people came and they're like, lay down. Can you do this? Can you hop on one leg? And everyone's just looking at you, taking notes. Like, that's so strange. That must be confronting. It was, it was. It was very strange. And there was one bloke. I remember one bloke in mine. He sat there, and like no one went up for ages. He was just sitting there in this room, and everyone's like, "Oh, what is going on?" This poor bloke. And he's sitting there, and then maybe like 4 clubs went up and saw him, but it was. You felt. So
was it 5 minutes or something?
I'm not too sure. Probably about 5-10 minutes. Yeah. And they make you they just like touch you, so looking at your knee and they do make you do stuff and tests. It was pretty weird.
Were you nervous because obviously your knee?
Yeah, I was pretty nervous, but like, it wasn't too bad. Yeah.
What are they? So they made you hop? Were you able to do hopping and all that sort of stuff?
So I was actually running. I was actually getting prepared to do a 2K. Like I was prepared to go do like a 2K at the combine. Maybe 8 months into my rehab, 8 or 9 months. And I was actually running and I was running really well. I was like running PB for 2Ks and then I was actually preparing to test just in case. And then they said I couldn't test. So I was like pretty spewing about that because I put in a lot of hard work. But as well, I was trying to get my skinnies down a bit.
What were your skinnies?
I forgot. I forgot. But it was low. I was actually pretty wrapped with it. But some blokes there like, ooh, fleshy, eh?
Who said that?
Just like, no, there's just some blokes there who like had no fat on them and like some elite players there.
That's pretty tough. Was it like, were you like, oh shit?
Yeah. I was more rapt to get a free like to go over and see all the players and then a free trip to Melbourne again. So you can't complain, eh?
2018. I think it was Jack, if Jack Graham, if he was 2017, I think it was 2017.
Yeah,
he wasn't
my year.
Year after that was like Connor Rosie, I think.
Yeah, my year was Sam Walsh.
Yeah, right. Because I was trying to remember all the guys that I worked with from North Adelaide in the draft. Because I got a funny story about Jack Graham. Because Dottie and I did some stuff with Jack Graham and trying to get his skin folds down for the combine or whatever. And I was talking to him about his diet and what he was eating and that sort of stuff. He'd like, for lunch, I'll go to the tuck shop, whatever thing, and have a meat pie. Then I'll have salt and vinegar chips or stuff in there. I was like, oh, mate, that's hilarious. Like, you can't be doing that.
No, you can't be doing that.
Can't rid of the
delicious, but you got to sacrifice it.
That's a weird flavour profile, putting salt and vinegar chips in the meat pie.
Oh, in the meat pie? In
the meat pie. So, like, you take the top off the meat pie and pull the salt and vinegar chips inside and then close the top up.
No, that's not it. But South Australian boys, who was
Rose,
Zach Rankin.
Yeah, was that 2018? That was
2018, and
that was a big crop of Adelaide one.
Lukosius, Lukosius. There was a few other boys, but yeah, it was a really good experience, and I was really happy with how it went, and then and you get heaps of free gear too. So.
Happy with that. Free boots?
No boots. Just like all the combine kind of uniforms and stuff. So
skins.
You never wear them.
2XU, wasn't it?
Yeah, you never wear them, but they're just good to have.
So you ended up getting rookie drafted to Swans?
Yeah, Swans. Yeah.
Did they talk to you beforehand about taking in the rookie draft or whatever?
So I had my first interview was actually with the Swans, and it was pretty good. And then I talked to him at the combine, and then I talked to a few other clubs. But I thought it was going to be out of GWS or Sydney, maybe Collingwood.
Yep.
But I was really happy it was with Sydney.
So at that stage, you're almost mentally prepared to go.
Well, I really wanted to go interstate, so I was really happy that I was actually going over interstate. So I was preparing for that, but I didn't actually think I was going to get picked up. So I had a good understanding that like if I did get picked up, I was going to be very lucky. But I was also preparing myself to not get picked up. And then on draft day, when my name didn't get called out, that's when it started freaking out a bit. I was like, holy shit, what am I going to do? Like,
I know.
I know. And then, I was shitting myself.
So obviously the rookie one was the day after. Was it the day? Was it?
No, that day. I'm pretty sure it was that day. So I actually missed it. So I totally missed it. So I didn't even know. So so what happened? I was spewing I didn't get drafted. So I was
So you thought that was it?
Yeah, I thought I was done. So I was pretty sad. So I just went upstairs, just sat in my room, and I was just watching YouTube. I still remember I was watching David Attenborough. So I still remember it clearly. And then I was just like chilling out. I knew it was that day, but because Eastern Standard, different time zones, so I was confused. So I had no idea. Eh? So I was just sitting there, and then I got it's funny how it worked out because the bloke who pushed me and I did my knee, he actually was the first one to message me.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So he messaged me and he's like saying congrats. And I was like, and then my best mate messaged me saying congrats because they were watching. I was like, on what? I was like, what, missing out? I was like, and then I literally was just like, what do you mean? And he's like, mate, you're going to Sydney. And I was like, oh, are you serious? And then I quickly jumped up and looked. And then on the AFL page where they do it, and I saw my name. And I couldn't believe it.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't, ran outside to mum because she was about to leave to go somewhere. And I was just like, bawling my eyes out. I couldn't believe it. I was so happy.
Damn, that's wild.
Yeah, it was one of the best feelings I've ever had in my life, and I don't think I've ever had that feeling again.
Damn. So from that point, who contacted you first from the Swans?
Horse. So the coach.
Oh.
Yeah. So Horse. Yeah. So then after that happened,
big dog.
Celebrated a little bit, and then mum and dad. Well, with mum. Dad was at work, and then and then he called me, and then like the general manager called me, the welfare called me.
Was the GM was that Josh Franco?
No,
was he there?
No,
it was left.
Tom Harley.
Oh, Tom Harley. That's right. Okay, good. They look the same.
Yeah,
Tom Harley and Josh Franco.
Was it Tom Harley? Or maybe it was I forgot. Pretty sure.
I think Tom Harley. Yeah, I think he worked there, and then I think maybe at that stage Franco went to Gold Coast.
Yeah, so that happened, and then everyone's still kind of didn't sink into it until they started calling me. I was like, Horse called me. I heard his voice. I was like, holy shit, like this is actually going to happen.
What did I say? Just congrats.
Yeah, congrats. We're happy to have you. Blah, 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 same stuff. And then, and then all my mates came over. had a pretty good night. Transitions was quick. 2 days later, I was.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah. So I had to pack like the next day. Pack all my stuff up. Well, just pack suitcase and that, and then head over straight away.
Damn. And then because they would been late November, so they were already being preseason. And
so they were already in preseason. Yep. So I don't know how many weeks they were in, probably 4 weeks.
Yep.
And then I think I was drafted Friday, and then left on Monday morning, early Monday morning.
Then your first day of training was Tuesday.
Yeah.
They do physical.
Tuesday. So I flew in probably around nighttime. Oh no! So it must have been flight must have been Arvo. Then got in nighttime, and then I met my roommates. It just happened so quick. Like it happened so fast. Like the transition was crazy. And then met my roommates, slept, and then went to training. And then there's Buddy Franklin tapping you on the shoulder, introducing himself to you. Like it was just a whirlwind.
I know who you are, mate.
Yeah.
I know who you are.
He's like, Lance. I was like, mate, I know who
Does he introduce himself as Lance?
Yeah, he does. And then, at the start, and then it's Buddy. But yeah, I just think about it now, like it just happened so quick, and it was just crazy. Just meeting all these like people you watch on TV and everyone, like a lot of good footy players on that team. There was.
Oh, fucking good. At that stage, who was there?
Luke Parker, Isaac Heaney.
He was the bald one. He was not bald.
Jared McVeigh.
McVeigh, yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. So he was there. Kieran Jack was there.
Kennedy,
Heath Grundy.
Jeez, that was stacked.
Nick
Jetta?
Smith. Jetta wasn't there. Nick Smith. Who else?
Lloyd.
Yeah, Lloyd. There was a lot of good players there.
So how did that transition? So obviously you came in with the knee.
Yep.
Did they talk to you beforehand and they're like, oh, we need a couple,
Yeah. So they obviously knew they'd draft me off a knee. So I was probably 9 or 10 months in around that time.
They're like, you need to tick all this sort of stuff off before we can train.
When I got there, yeah. So when I got there, we started doing a lot. It was after that. I was really happy that I got picked up because I could actually rehab my knee properly, fully. Because they take it to the extreme. And like all these tests and like it was full on. Like it was crazy how much stuff I was doing. A lot of running and a lot of weights and a lot of bloody off legs,
Conditioning.
Yeah. We call it the dungeon.
The dungeon?
Yeah.
Were you
downstairs in this little dark room, just all bikes and everything.
Sweat chamber, was it?
Yeah, sweat chamber, yep.
What did that make you do?
A lot of bike, and I hated bike but now I actually love it. Yeah. So I did so much bike. A lot of like the ski erg, that cross trainer one. And the worst was the grinder. Oh man, that gives me nightmares thinking about that. Hey, like when going into training and seeing what you're doing for the day and you just see, and every time you see grinder, just felt like crying. It's like we had a lot of people injured that year, like Buddy and Joe McVeigh. And they obviously.
So they were with you?
Yeah,
sessions?
Mate, every day we were in there and doing the grinder with them because they've been doing it for so long. Holy crap.
They push you hard.
And I was just struggling so much. As a skinny kid.
They wouldn't have let you like slack off or anything. They would have dragged you through the mud.
Yeah. So I was pretty fortunate the year I was there. Like those blokes were there and they were bad for them, but they were also injured.
They set you good standard.
Yeah, good standard. So it was pretty hectic.
Who'd you room with?
So I lived in the house. My first house was so shit. But good blokes. Toby Pink from South Australia.
Yep. I know them.
Yeah, he was the one who kicked the goal.
Don't talk to me. Don't talk about that game. That was 2017.
Mate.
I think that Colts grand final.
Yeah.
And it was after the siren. He kicked it from outside 50 and it bounced in the goal square. No one touched it.
No one touched it.
For a point. It was a draw. Oh, it was a draw. Then he kicked that point and no one touched it on the boundary line. On the fucking goal line, sorry.
Yeah, and I actually didn't know that. I remember seeing that.
It gets replayed every year.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I remember seeing that video. Dottie actually showed us that video.
Yeah, he was here.
He showed us that video at Colts, and then
did he show that in your Colts?
Yeah, at Colts, and then I didn't know that.
What did he say? What did he say? He's like, look at this shit team.
Well, because it was a draw. No, we were up by I think a point in the Colts game, and the sign went, and someone nearly gave away a 50. He walked straight across the line and we're like, holy crap. So then after that game, he showed us that video. And I remember I was in bed one time in Sydney and that video came up and I was looking, I was like, oh my God, I didn't know it was actually Pinky, my roommate, who had kicked it. And I was like, holy shit. And I yelled out to him, like, Toby, is this you? And he's like, yeah. I was like, what the hell? Like such a small world. And then also roomed with Matthew Ling.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
What was that like? Because you obviously, it was a tiered system. I think you were saying like third year, second year, first year. Is that how it went? Yeah.
Yeah. Third year, second year, first
year. So they had a bit of experience there and they showed you the ropes.
Yeah. So I got along really well with my housemates, but the house we were living in was so shit.
What area?
Maroubra. Real good area, but house is crap. Because, mate, I'd fly, like sometimes, a couple of times I would fly in, like coming back from a break or, just from a break, I'd fly in that night and turn the lights on in the kitchen and you just see cockroaches just scatter around. And I'm like, and then like we kept complaining to them like, this house is terrible, like old house. And like the amount of money we're paying for it, like it was incredible.
For rent.
Yeah, Sydney's shocking. So we finally got out of that house and went into a new one. But this house is falling to bits. That much mold in my room. It was incredible. It was disgusting.
So when did you get out of the sweat chamber? When did you start like running on field and getting close to?
I was running. I started running pretty quickly. So cool. I started running probably because I was running before. I was running pretty much as soon as I kind of got there. Mm-hmm. But they would obviously have to do off legs and that on different days. So that was pretty. Mate, I was running that many laps around this bloody oval and then in the sweat chamber. And then Yeah, it was just it was kind of like just doing the same stuff every week for a long time.
Did they introduce you to any like skill stuff at all?
Yeah, every day we do touch. So all the rehab boys, we're doing touch, kicking, and then all that. But then I did have one setback with my knee when I got there. It was just like a lot of build up in my knee, and it's called a cyclops lesion.
Yep.
So that, and like I could barely straighten my leg out straight, and I could like hardly at all. And I thought that was normal. And then I had this, like they obviously scanned that, saw it. I had this surgery, and then my knee felt so much better. Yeah, because I thought it was just, I had it for a while, and I thought it was just normal, but my knee, after that, it was so much better. I could finally stretch out my knee, and that's when things started to take off a bit.
That's good. But then you had an even bigger setback after that.
Yeah.
How long you did your hammy?
Yep.
How long after that? So you said you're almost about to play. Was that right?
So I was pretty close to getting back to full training.
Yeah.
So I was training, but I wasn't. I was just wearing like the high vis hat, so no contact. So I was training, and then I actually got a good story. It was my first training back. This is from the knee. From the knee. First training back, and I was so happy and I was so wrapped. And kind of like what we do at the start, we do like a little skill session at the start, and we're doing like a handball, running through a handball. Yeah. And the bloke in front of me goes to step and does his knee right in front of me. And he
before even training started?
So training started, and we're doing like
drills.
So like 3 lanes, running handball, and like there's a defender in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So like this
bloke. So this is my first train, my first drill. And this bloke has done his knee right in front of me. And I was just like, holy shit. Cause he like, it was pretty bad what he did. Like he was in pain, like screaming. And I was like, holy shit. And then I was shitting myself for quite a while out that training, But it was finally good to have my first training session with the boys. So I was pretty happy with that.
Get involved. So what happened with your hammy? So how'd you do that?
So I did my hammy. It was a Saturday training. I think the NEFL team had a bye that weekend, so we had like a training, and it was so silly. I don't know why I did it. We're doing like these sprints, just a couple sets of sprints, like in the middle of training. And I like took off, and I tried to run as fast as I could. And then my hammy went, and that was my first time doing a hammy. And I was like, oh no, that didn't feel good. So it was probably like a 4-week injury hammy.
All right.
But like when I did it, I was just like, I just knew I did my hammy, and I was just sitting there, and I was just like, oh my God, I finally, like that was probably my third training session back.
Oh shit.
And I did my hammy, and I was just sitting there devastated, like didn't hit me, and then it finally hit me. And I was like, started crying a bit, and then Buddy came over because he was there and like got around me a bit, and boys got around me, but fuck, it sucked, Like I was spewing, and then it got scanned. But it was probably like a 4 or 5 week hammy. So it wasn't too bad.
So what happened after that?
And then I got probably 3 weeks into that one, and we're doing like obviously like rehab running, and then slowly building up to higher speed. And then they were really good. Like they were switched on. And then I probably wasn't ready for that speed yet, because they do like this timing. Yeah. Probably wasn't ready for that speed. And then, it went again, and then got scans, and it was, and it was a pretty bad hammy.
The same hammy.
Yeah, same hammy, but like it wasn't sore like the first one was. And then my second time I did it, it was like pretty bad. Like it was a high tear.
Tendon, I think.
Yeah, tendon. Yep. So it was pretty 12-week injury.
Oof.
Yeah. So
you had to have surgery. Got the nice scar on the back.
No, so I didn't have surgery. So I come back. So did rehab, got to running, got 10 weeks into the 12 weeks of that hammy, and I think I was probably like maybe starting to go back to training again the next week. Yeah. And same thing.
Bullshit. So it was three
hammies, and then I did it again, and complete tear of the tendon again.
Jesus. Yeah. That was so it just got worse and worse.
Yeah. So it was, so 10 weeks into that one. So, and that's when I was like, I wasn't really upset at that point. I was more pissed off. I kind of got over being sad over that point, and I was just like, because it kind of hit me, it was kind of near the end of that year, and I was like, I just done another hammy. This is gonna need surgery. got to be another 12 weeks. And then that's when it kind of started hitting me, like thinking about getting delisted.
Yeah.
Because it is your job. And if you're not on the training track,
yeah,
you're just sitting there, and then it's a business for them as well. So sitting there, realizing that, and that's starting to hit me, I was like, oh my God, because that completely ruled me out for the season after doing that.
It's probably hard from a mental point of view as well to show up for those last, I don't know, however many weeks it was, because like you're almost certain you were going to get delisted, and then still having to show up to work knowing that your future's like up in the air.
Yeah.
You just have to like do the right thing, I guess.
Yeah, so I was probably, and I was thinking about that a lot, and probably about 4 weeks into that rehab, I got a call from a manager, and he's like, like they don't think you might be there next year and all this, and I was like, fuck, like, and we probably had two months left of the season, and hearing that, I was like, oh, fuck, like, and I kind of knew, like, you kind of got to expect that, but you also got to think, like, they were drafting me off a knee.
Yeah,
they took a risk, and what pissed me off was they always kept telling you how well you're going. Like, mate, you're killing it. You're training really well. We love you here. And you're like, oh yeah, that's all right. You're hearing that. And then kind of get to the end of the year, near the end of the year, and you're like, I kind of knew. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gone. Like, I'm going to have to, like, I just kind of knew I was going to get delisted.
It's such a hard spot as well. What was it like? So you just still, because obviously in your head and in your body, you're like, oh, were you kind of like 50-50 after that? Were you like, you still want to give your best effort into training?
Yeah, completely. Yeah, 100%. Just in case, like, you never know. Yeah. And I was really good with my rehab, and I was real hard working then. But it was really hard sometimes just going into training, like, and for the whole year, just doing the same shit every day and going down in that dungeon and on the grinder, on the bike, and then going up and then just watching the boys train while you're running laps. Like,
a tough slog at it.
Yeah, it was shocking. So it wasn't the AFL dream I was kind of expecting. Yeah.
I had a mate who you get drafted to Richmond, and he played there a couple of seasons, and then his last season before, like, at the end of his contract, I think it was halfway through the season, like, through his manager and whether they weren't going to re-sign him on.
Yeah.
And then he was saying that, like, he, for about 2 weeks, was just like sulking around the place. Like,
really?
Most people will sulk. And then one of the players, when I think we said it was like Vickery or one of the leaders, went up, going up to him, just like had a chat, was like saying, just so, even like understandable, like you feel like shit or whatever. But like when you're at the club, it's kind of, you're going to have to, fake it a little bit, because it's almost like an infectious kind of disease, like being like sulking around. It makes everyone else not want to be around you, and then you feel it, you get even more isolated because once you're sulking, people.
Yeah, you can't be like that. Like, for me, I accepted that, like, I kind of knew I was going to get delisted, so I was going into the club, just soaking it in more, just taking everything in, going down to the, like, change rooms and all that, and going to the games, then like going to the games when they played, and actually going into the change rooms while they were getting ready.
Oh,
so I was kind of like soaking it in a bit, because at the start of the year I wasn't really doing that, and I actually didn't know if you were allowed to. But near the end of the year I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll just go in. And I was just watching all the boys warm up and what they do for pre-game, and but yeah, it was pretty tough.
Yeah. What was the highlight of that year you were with
obviously just meeting all the boys, like my first time being there, and it was just so funny around the club sometimes, or like out nights out, going to boys' places, like, it was so fun. Highlights is a couple Buddy's 300. The last game of the season was Buddy's 300th, and it was Jared McVeigh's last game, Kieran's last game, Heath Grundy last game, in Nick Smith's last game. So, like, seeing that, so it was bloody insane. Like,
crowd would have been massive. Was that the SCG?
Yeah, at SCG. Wow. So it was a huge send off, and it was Buddy's 300th game, and we also won. And Jared McVeigh kicked a goal. Kieran kicked a goal. It was it was like just goosebumps watching that game. Wow. I still remember it clear as like just biggest goosebumps and it was the loudest crowd I've ever heard. Oh, and then like after the game, you know, go on the ground, obviously chaired off, going into the change room, singing the song, everyone singing the song, nice. Going into the change rooms, also giving a big speech and all that, and then going into the change rooms, having beers like with everyone there, like it was so fun. Just everyone in this one room in the big room, everyone's just sitting around drinking and music going off. That was a big highlight. Yeah, it was insane. And that's I still remember because, you know, it was the last game of the season. I kind of knew I was getting delisted. So I was sitting there just like, real soaking it in.
Taking mental pictures and all that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah. A couple clicks of the mental game, mate. It was insane.
That's awesome.
A good day.
So you got delisted and all that.
Yep.
You moved back to Perth.
Yep.
Is that right? Who contacted you from East Fremantle to get you down? Was it Dotty?
Yeah. So got delisted. Still remember when I got delisted. It was
who told you? Sorry, was that Horse?
Yeah. It was fair enough. Yeah, it was. I still remember probably like a 4-minute phone call. That was Jesus. It. And then so 4 minutes. I was at my missus' house. 4-minute phone call, and I was just like, and then just hit me. I was sitting there. I was like, fuck. Like. I was preparing for it, but because it was a long wait. It was actually a real long wait because I messaged my manager. I was like, "Have you heard anything?" He's like, "No, I haven't heard anything." It was like I had to wait probably like a month and a bit or 2 months just waiting, and then it finally happened, and it was pretty devastating. But then that day, I think Dotty contacted me that day. I'm pretty sure. I think it was that day or the next day. Dotty
just fucking quick.
Yeah, just messaged me. It was actually two clubs actually hit me up that day. Yeah, so I was like, and I just didn't want to talk to anyone. I was like, who cares? Like, footy was the last thing I was thinking about that time.
Fair enough.
So probably Dotty that hit me up.
And what did he say? Come back.
Yeah.
Come
well, I'll move back to Perth and
remember your best Colts coach.
Yeah,
come back
for one game. I'll be like, I still remember when you gave me nothing, mate. So moved back to Perth, and I kind of knew I was going to sign with East Fremantle straight away because I was literally living just down the road.
Oh yeah,
so it was pretty easy option, and I had a good relationship with Dotty.
And that first season, because obviously you're coming off the 3 hammies, took you a while to get into it.
Yeah.
And even over the last couple of seasons, we've had a lot of chats over like your high speed running and that sort of stuff. Is there a little bit of like, you don't want to say PTSD or anything, but you still like got like thoughts about like your hammy and you did it 3 times in 1 year.
Yeah.
You still have a bit of like trauma around
100%.
Sprinting again?
It's kind of started with my knee, but then I gained a lot of confidence in that, and then that took over. But then the hammy, it was such a mental game first coming back. Like I was so scared that I was going to do my hammy again, and just thinking about another 12 weeks off. Like if I did my hammy again, if I did my hammy again, I wouldn't probably be able to do it again. Like I just had, I was just so sick of just rehab, like
going through it.
What was it, 3 years or whatever, just doing rehab. So I was pretty scared at that point. And then when I did my ankle after that, like kind of when I started back training, full training, like I don't know, it kind of just went away. Like there was too much stuff to focus on while you're playing or training. So I wasn't really thinking about it. So yeah.
Do you still like, obviously, because you've got the history and all that stuff, do you do top, like obviously I program your shit, so I know what you're doing. You have to top it up. Like we make sure we top up the extra hamstring stuff because obviously there's there's a weak link there somewhere.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing for you was that you are naturally very fast.
Yeah.
Which gives you a predisposition to, if you don't sprint fast all the time, you don't get, like, your body's not used to it. Then when you do naturally hit it, your body just goes snap.
Yeah. So it was.
I think even last year, Marshy got onto your back about like making sure we do extras on top of it and being more diligent, not just randomly doing extras.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest thing, was me running high speed. I still don't think I've hit my highest speed, like, because my hammies just get tight. Like it doesn't still feel like I can run 100%, but it's probably also from my injuries as well. I reckon it's probably slowed me down a little bit. So with extras, I don't know, just run faster at training, I guess.
How are your Nordics going? Love Nordics.
Yeah, Nordics did it this morning.
Did you?
Yeah, it was good. But feels like it's going to blow my hammy apart
I
sometimes.
put squats back in the program today.
Yeah.
You seen them?
Did them.
I changed them up. I changed the program a little bit. Did you do it all properly?
Yeah, did it properly.
Did you watch the videos?
Of course we did it. Of course we did it properly. Videos.
Videos on the team builder app.
No, I was just asking Max what to do, so he was telling me.
Oh, that's what you always forget that you were there. You were there in the morning with the boys, not just with Sometimes you do it by yourself.
Yeah, sometimes I have to. Yeah.
So talk about now. So obviously, you're not footy's not your full time job. You're saying you do some work. So what's it?
So I do. I work for a company setting up events and that.
Yep.
A lot of weddings and all that, and then I do support work as well.
That's it. That's support work.
Yeah.
Was that something you wanted to do before footy or?
No, it was more last year. I kind of just needed something to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I studied a Cert 3 at TAFE while playing footy.
Which
Cert 3 in community something.
Yeah.
Community services, I think it is.
It was last year, mate.
Yeah, I know. So I did it last year. So because mum works in that kind of field.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So I did that, and she thought I'd be pretty good at it. And so yeah, I've been doing that for a bit now. It's pretty good.
Is it the one kid you look after, or is
at
it
the moment? Yeah. So I did work for a company, and then I had a couple clients, but now I just kind of work for myself and
cool.
Just look after this one kid.
And they set up your week. They're like,
well, I just look after them on a Wednesday, every Wednesday. And if I need to pick up more shifts, or if they want me to, I sometimes work on weekends.
Oh, that's cool. What do you do? What do you do with him? Just take him to the park or do whatever?
So crazy. Like, it's so fun. Like, we just play basketball. He's only 10 years old, but we just play a lot of basketball, and he loves Hot Wheels, so a lot of Hot Wheels. And he gives me a couple of cars and all that. Yeah, so I have a little collection at home. Yeah, a lot of basketball.
Mm. So one of the questions that gets famously asked on this podcast.
Yeah.
If you were to have dinner with any 4 people, dead or alive, who would you choose?
Oh, Freddie Mercury would be one.
Yeah, right.
Elton John.
Yeah.
Oh, it would have to be LeBron, eh?
Yep, that's 3.
Last one, or Usain Bolt.
Nice. Well, that mix, Freddie Mercury and Elton John.
I love Freddie Mercury. Love Elton John. LeBron because the king, mate. And then who was the last one? Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt.
Oh, he's hell funny. Pretty funny bloke.
Do you remember when he tried to play soccer here in Australia?
No.
Don't you remember that? He trained for who did he train with? Central Coast Mariners, I think, maybe.
Really?
He trained with one of the what do they call it here? A-League?
Yeah.
He trained with one of the A-League teams as like a preseason thing. And then he played one preseason game, and then I don't think they were going to sign him or anything, but then he went over and signed over for a soccer team over international somewhere.
Yeah, mate, you just sign him because it puts bums on seats. Eh?
Yeah, that's the business decision, right?
Yeah, 100%. Don't even play him.
That's what happened. Famously, they did that in the UFC where they signed CM Punk, the wrestler.
Yeah,
and he had no MMA experience and was like 40 years old.
And people
UFC, they tried to get that crowd over into the UFC, and then he failed miserably. Lost two fights, pretty badly.
Have you seen Usain Bolt's doco he does?
No,
it's called Bolt. Mate, get onto it.
Was that on Netflix or something? Amazon.
I think I illegally watched it.
Oh, did you?
But it's on the internet, mate, because I watched it.
There you go.
Yeah, it's hell good. It goes into his last Olympics.
He was saying he trained he had some quote. He's like, I trained however many hours for a race that lasted 9 seconds.
Yeah.
Which is fucking
4 years of training for 9 seons. It's insane. But I can relate to him so much. He's so funny, eh? He's just so lazy as well.
Would you relate to the laziness, do you?
No, yeah, sometimes. When it's time to go, it's time to go. But when it's time to relax, don't want a little relaxation.
Oh, you don't bring you had 3 your GPS bibs been left.
I think I found another one.
Bullshit. Hannah will be so mad, yeah?
I think I found another one, but I forgot to bring it. Sorry, mate.
I can't believe that. Durak, how many GPS bibs do you have at home? 3? What do you mean 3?
Mate, I'll just forget. Yeah, oh well.
So when you moved back, moved over near East Fremantle. Where are you living now?
I live with my girlfriend and her sister in Applecross.
Your girlfriend and her sister?
Yeah.
How does that go?
Fine.
Really?
Yeah, they probably get a little bit pissed off with me because I suck at washing and I hate doing my washing, but everything else all right. And our little miniature sausage dog.
What's your dog's name?
Peach.
Peach?
Yeah.
Peachy. How old is she?
She's 8 months, I think.
There's some funny photos you post up.
Oh, mate, she's so cute.
This big.
She's tiny. I wish I brought her in today. You would have loved her. She's so tiny.
Was it you had? Did you bring her to the gym last Friday or something? You had her at the footy club?
So I had him at because I had to do that air bike test.
Oh, did you do it in the morning?
Yeah, I did it because the gym I went to they didn't have one.
It's Thursday morning.
Yeah, it was Thursday
my days
morning.
got confused around.
Yeah, because the gym I went to on Wednesday they didn't have one, so I had to go on Thursday early morning and did it. And then I brought her along, just tied her up, and she watched me going nuts when I was doing it. Going nuts, like
she didn't like the fan or something.
No, barking like, and she hardly ever barks. I was like, going.
Must have been the noise.
Yeah, it was all the old blokes are in there too.
Oh yeah, they do that little. The old guys, but Youngie does a little boys PT
thing. Yep. So not so bad it was.
Where would you go? Where would you take all those guys for dinner? What's your favourite?
I love burgers. Yeah. So you would have to, I don't know, who's shouting? It would have to be one of those guys. If it's me, mate, if
LeBron?
it's me, we're going to Coles. If it's LeBron, bloody hell. I'm not really that big on fancy restaurants. Yeah, maybe a nice big buffet.
Yeah, buffet.
Yeah. Easy, mate.
I'm not a fan of buffets. All the food sits there for ages before you get to take it, only if it's fresh.
Oh, we'll make sure they're fresh then.
I need to find a place that does like bottomless chicken wings because I've been on a chicken wing fiend the last couple of months.
Chicken wings. Yeah, I'm a huge chicken wing eater too.
Buffalo style with a nice blue cream cheese sauce.
Yeah, not too bad, eh?
Wow. Go for some right now. It's almost like lunchtime.
Go for it, man.
One last thing before we go. We got to do Uncle Frank's.
Yeah.
Uncle Frank's questions. You ready?
I'm ready.
So I'll shuffle them up. They're quite deep, these questions.
Big hat.
It's the East Fremantle hat.
That's the one you wear to training.
No, it's not. The bucket hat I wear now.
Oh, $50.
So, all right, ready? Take a pick. These questions go quite deep, so this can get serious right now.
All right.
Read it out.
If you could travel to the past and change one event, would you? Which one and why?
Ooh.
Okay.
We haven't had that one yet.
Not go to that training on Saturday where I did my hammy.
That one? Which one? So that was the first? That was the
first hammy.
First one.
Probably not.
So you had the option. Hard. Did you have the option to?
No, well, go to training, but just get through training. That's what I kind of learnt. That was a big one. So that actually, I don't know why, but that actually sits with me quite a lot. Like, I don't know if that would have changed anything, not doing that sprinting really hard because I always think back to it. If I didn't do my hammy, then where would I be right now? Would I be playing? Would I still be at Sydney? I do think about that some days, but then also it's in the past. You can't change anything.
Yeah.
I'll give you another one because that one's can't really think of one right now. That was good. That was an okay one. But
yeah. I'm happy with that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Would you, so were you like sore going into that training or?
No, I was feeling amazing.
Feeling good. That's always when it happens though.
It was so strange.
It's always one of the things that a lot of the guys say when they do get into the I felt strangely like fresh going to that training.
Well, the week before I was doing sprints, 200 meter sprints, a lot of because I was building up high speed. Mm-hmm. It was probably my body telling me it's probably had enough because it was some big days, big sessions. Like I was clocking sometimes like 15K days. And then a big training session, a big week for me would be, you know how we do 2-minuters and stuff. Mm-hmm. It would go 6 3-minuters, 6 2-minuters, 6 1-minuters, and then to finish off that, it might be do maybe some sprint stuff, but then probably some fartlek stuff. So we'd do one around the oval. So that was some big sessions, and that would be just one session of the week, and we'd do 3 a week. Fuck, mate, it was tough.
What was that? So
it's so humid. Oh, so
yeah. See, I always forget because I haven't been to Sydney that often. I always forgot how humid it really does get there.
And I sweat so much, ridiculously amount.
What was when you started to get back to training and the low, how did you feel? Because obviously you gone from not doing much over here in WA, like you just kind of through rehab and obviously no training, nowhere near the same amount of volume and load as you were in Sydney. Like, how much did you have to like eat to keep up with this? Like, keep up with that? And did you feel like it took a while to be like, oh shit, I have to eat a shit ton more?
Yeah, I was eating quite a lot. Yeah, and I was usually a really big eater. I actually probably wasn't eating enough. Thinking about, like, I did put a little bit of weight on, but not near as much. I felt like not near as much as like as how hard I was working there. Like,
yeah, righto.
Said, like, and the amount of gym we did. You know, the grinder and all that. I wasn't putting on as much bulk as I thought I would because I was probably burning. Like, I was probably wasn't putting enough food in me, and I didn't really understand that back then, like kind of as much as I do now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't really scared or like mentally drained to like. I was actually more really excited to start actually doing rehab properly. It felt like actually starting and. I've always been like a pretty hard worker, so I was more keen on doing it. But yeah, as it happens, like some weeks are harder than others, and you know sometimes because rehab they kind of get us ticked over first, so sometimes you got be waking up a lot earlier than other people.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So you get in early. In early, out early, or in early the whole day?
Probably the senior boys in early, out early. Yeah. The first year, far out, you do some long days there, eh? Like. And you'd be so rooted. A couple of times I fell asleep on the beanbags. Like,
because there's always a break over lunch there.
There would obviously be like maybe like 2 hours of a break before you have like a meeting, and instead of going home and then coming back because you'd only be home for like an hour or whatever, you just stay there. And then, man, you get pretty comfy on those beanbags.
I can imagine.
And because they had a lot of recovery kind of stuff. They had those like. Those sleeves you put on your legs and you just lay there. Oh, so comfy though. Like you just fall asleep with them on. But yeah, I love like working hard and doing all that. So I was just thinking more like getting myself better.
How's your golf game going on at the moment?
Average.
Where you playing? Just random places?
I started playing a bit at the Pro Public Golf one.
Oh, just across the road.
Yeah.
How's that? Because my
mate, it's so nice because the golf club, the private one, members one, looks after it.
Oh, do they?
It's so nice. But like, I haven't been playing as much because it's expensive. You know, like if you want to play every day, like $17 a day. Boy.
Is it 9? How many holes is it there?
Just 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Casey's old man's coming they're coming on Friday. And he was like, oh, like let's go because he's like, I mean, he top golfer. Like plays off scratch, and where they're from in Melbourne, they have like a pro came down and designed the whole golf course, and everyone in the kind of town looks after the course, and he's like a fucking gun. Like he's that good that he doesn't tell me his secrets and how to play good. Like he's that, and he has like
come on,
he has a sleeve on every golf club. Every good golf club has a little. All the irons have like a little pocket and stuff, like little leather ones.
Cleans them every day.
Yeah, it has a little rain finder.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to see my golf bag there because I just put any club in any hole. So I'm like, I hit my golf shot and then I walk up and. Fuck, where's my 7 iron?
Sometimes I've left my fucking pitching wedge on the 2 holes back, and I'm like,
you can't leave clubs on the ground.
I have to go run back and get it. No, it sets my OCD off though because it's like I try to have a system, but then like during the course of the round, you just start throwing clubs wherever. Yeah, you're like, where the fuck is my sandwich? And you're like looking through.
How angry do you get in golf?
So I'm bad,
mate. You
broken club or you throwing?
No, I went on with my dad to throw a few, but he's like, don't throw your fucking gloves. Like,
no, I'm known for like if I have a bad putting thing or whatever, because I'll just piff my ball fucking over, and throw it away, and it's like the ball's fault.
Yeah. But yeah, when I play with dad, we always like he didn't want. I've only been playing golf for like 7 months now, and dad's been playing for a while, so when I started getting into it, I had a couple lessons, and then he before he wanted to play with me, he said I'll have to have a couple lessons. But now I beat him.
Oh yeah,
mate.
Nice.
Come on.
Well done.
Easy win.
I struggle so much these days because I can put a fair bit of power into it.
Yeah.
And then my shot just goes to fucking
Slice?
Yeah. I always play it like a cover drive.
Yeah, I've started, I used to slice the ball so bad now. I've fixed it.
How'd you fix it?
Just roll the wrist over, close that club face.
Early?
Well, you got to, like, I haven't fixed it fully, but yeah, you kind of got to figure out the timing of when to close it.
I say this like I think I know what I'm doing, but I don't. I always, because when you buy the clubs or buy the set, the driver always like, there's like a flexi shaft, and I feel like I put that much power into the swing that
that's another
club,
thing.
The club bends so much. I need to get I was like, I'll fix my slice if I can get a stiff shaft. And I was like, it's definitely not the stiff shaft. It's my technique.
Give you a tip, mate. Don't try to kill the ball. Just hit it. Just
but I feel like the softer I go, the softer I go, worse it gets.
Nah, it's pretty hard though when you're over the top of the ball and you're like, I'm not going to hit it hard. I'm not going to hit it hard. And then you're like, fuck it. Mid swing.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
All right. Durak, before we sign off, do you want to say anything else?
Thanks for having me on, mate. Finally got around to it.
I loved having you on. It was an honour.
It was an honour.
Do you want to shout anyone out?
Shout out to Marshy.
Why shout out to Marshy?
Just shout out to Marshy because, I don't know, just shout out to him.
Not because he's a good bloke or anything like that?
Oh, actually, he buys me a lot of coffees.
Thanks, Marshy, for buying Durak a lot of coffee. Actually, we should actually fucking rip you about your coffee. What did you have? What did I have to buy today?
Actually, shout out to Marshy for getting me on the flat white with honeys.
Did he? Did he get you on that? Bullshit.
He got me on honeys.
Did he put honey in his coffee?
Yeah, he puts honey in his coffee.
Fuck. Well, you were saying before you switched over to honey because you were having 3 teaspoons of sugar in your coffee.
Yeah, no, we can talk about that.
All right, Durak.
Rookie, man.
Durak, it's been an honour having you on, mate. Thank you very much for taking the time out to come on.
Too easy.
I appreciate it all. So thank you very much, and all the best for the season, brother.
Cheers, man.
Cheers. Thanks, everyone, for listening to the podcast.